501c3s really care about black people? Yes or no? Is there something else really going on? That's what we're going to get to the bottom of today on Unsolved Mysteries, Destabilization Ops. Do 501cs actually give a fuck? And why are they all Jewish? Today on Unsolved Mysteries, Destabilization Ops. This part of the song's not even in the original. I don't think we get that far today in the title sequence. This part's scary. Whoa. All roads lead to 501c3s. All murder mysteries. All international sex trafficking rings lead back to banks. What is up, guys? Welcome to the show, Dugan's Car Show. We're on day. Somebody asked me to handlebar this stash. We're on day. What is this? Day 3 of riots. What we got going? We got any big ass riots going on right now? Or are they kind of petering out for the weekend? What's up, y'all? Thanks for tuning in. Day 6? Is it really that? I've been drinking too much, I guess. I don't know. Okay. Well, okay. We got a lot of. They got a fire near the White House now. Yeah, it is. It's just fucking scary. They put a scary theme song on there, and he's wearing like a trench coat, like he's gonna fucking rape you. You're gonna get raped. You know. Listen to this comment. Protesters built and are constructing a trebuchet to launch a nuke at. Is that supposed to be at Israel? I think it'd be from Israel. It would be the greatest. Yeah, DC's getting fucked up. Yeah. Can somebody throw a Discord link in the chat, please, for this gentleman? So, okay, so I'm going to get right to the point, and then we're going to talk about a couple of current events, and this is just going to be short and sweet. I've got a couple of video productions that I'm working on. I guess they're being pushed off a little bit because we've got fucking continuous fucking riots throughout the entire United States. So, that's kind of taking priority here. So let me cut to brass tacks. You've got a nationwide destabilization ops, ongoing in the United States. The first thing that we're trying to identify is who is funding them. So if you are familiar, if you see this video and you know who, which 501c3s or foundations are directly supporting these, it's probably going to be a handful of them because it's all across the United States. If you could contact me, you can either leave a comment here and direct me to a source, or if you want to email me discreetly, I'll respect your privacy. Duger, that's Dooger, Duger at tutanota.com. Tutanota, Tutanota. Please send me an email to Duger at tutanota.com and let me know the goods. Because we are currently conducting an investigation with about, at least 100 people attempting to trace back to the funding of this whole clusterfuck that is going on right now in the United States. That's my primary message at this point right now. My secondary message is to anyone that's watching this: you need to be, have your ears keyed up for China, because China is fucking gone. It is like going to be here really quick. You have escalations in Ladakh between the Indians and the Chinese. That's continuing to escalate on a pretty linear basis for now, but getting a little worse each day. You have lots of forces amassed there. China has been releasing internal reposturing for getting ready for war. So that's what's going on in terms of the government speak in China. They're looking for a war flavor here. Um, really, it's the same thing in the United States, right? Same thing, same bosses, same thing. Of course, you got like the Taiwan Strait threat, so you have two possible angles of engagement for this thing to kick off for World War III. You've got a massive U.S. Army recruiting program that's beginning. It's going to start, this month in June, and it's going to be through Microsoft and Zoom. It's going to be through the municipalities, the schools, everything. They're going to be trying to pick up as many youngsters as they can to enlist in preparation for build-up for the Chinese, World War, which is pretty much going to involve everybody, and it's going to result in mass death. So we would like to. Our main focus here in this channel, in terms of my message, has been to make people aware that this Chinese conflict has been planned for a long time, at least positively planned in like a vague sense since the 1970s. And the purpose of this is to send military-age males overseas so that we're weakened within the United States and vulnerable to a coup disguised as just our government, and our people. But it really is a coup against the Constitution to do away with the Constitution finally. We're currently in a kind of like quasi post-constitutional status where we still have to acknowledge it on paper, but if you're taking a paycheck from the government, I'm sure that you're aware that there are quite a few things going on all over the United States every day, and have been for a long time, that are circumventing the Constitution, and we have no teeth or ability to, counterbalance that other than the use of force. And we're trying to hold that off as long as possible, because life is precious, and even the life of your enemy. So that's kind of the current situation with China. We don't want males to go overseas. We want military-age males in the United States to defend themselves and their families and their communities, and not get dumped into a funnel to get into a directed revolution that's false, like a fake pseudo-revolution, or to be sent overseas in a draft to have to fight China and get your intelligence leaked in very vulnerable engagements, to where you can have a decisive, controlled, loss to destroy, assist in destruction of the United States. That's what we're primarily concerned in. The second aspect of that is to cause an awakening in the United States, to make individuals become more self-sufficient, to make the United States government acknowledge that we have a serious vulnerability in our supply line, and how much we are exporting and how much we have sent overseas to be manufactured. We want to get everything back in the United States to get manufactured here, everything for ourselves. We want to, probably not import much, at least in terms of our consumption. And then on the individual level, we would like people to begin to learn about, producing their own required resources that they use every day, like their water is a big one, their heat, and their food. That is what the direction that we'd like to push in for that. So in terms of the destabilization operation that's going on in the United States right now, you've got a couple facets. Number one, obviously you have the fucking riots everywhere. There's a lot of people that are waking up and understand that this is a synthetic operation. The fact that it's nationwide should be pretty alarming and give you an idea of the scope of what the United States is dealing with. We're virtually having no acknowledgement through the government, which should also give you an idea of how big of pussies and how corrupted the government is, because they don't even give a fuck about people in the United States. They're going to have to go probably. So we would like any patriots that are in the state to be, anybody that's actually gives a shit about the United States to begin blowing the whistle on this and starting an investigation. Because right now you've got civilians that have no resources other than the internet to research this shit and try to figure out who the fuck is behind this exactly and map them out so they can be held accountable for doing this. It's certainly involving Antifa, but even Antifa, that's just like the boots on the ground. We're looking for the people that are actually funding this shit, it's most certainly going to be involving, 501c3s that are directly engaging with the people that are on the ground protesting, and the 501c3s are, of course, going to be involved with corporations, for-profit corporations, and foundations that are going to be, sending money their way. We do have some leads on stuff right now, and we're waiting for more information. So if you know anything about that, you shoot it right over here. You send us that data. And we will be very appreciative for anything that would be helpful. We're gonna find them one way or another. We got a shitload of people working on this, so you can hide if you want. The other thing that I guess we should sound the alarm on is that I would imagine, this is all points bulletin. So we have a bunch of U.S. military that's being, activated in terms of a national emergency in response to these riots. So we've heard through military service members that are active duty and in reserve capacity are being, sent around the United States right now, and it's pretty wide scale. So you have quite a bit of military being activated. This is probably one of two things. This is most likely, obviously it's a response to the riots, but the underlying subtlety is that, when these military units get set up, we don't know, it's either to make the government look like the good guys, like they come and save the day, or it's to, make it a common, put military in the position where they're engaging with the public so that it can be, redirected to the public at a time later, just to normalize deployment of the military. There's rumor of active military being deployed domestically. I mean, there's a lot of pretty wild rumors going around, and we'll just have to wait and see what shakes out. But I would guess, Monday, tomorrow, you're gonna fucking figure it out, because they're gonna be talking about it and implementing whatever needs to roll out, in their perspective. That's what's gonna start rolling out on Monday. So I would, be paying attention tomorrow. What else? What am I missing here, guys? Are you guys having a side conversation here? Or what? You guys just talking to each other? Do you guys have anything that you want to talk about? Okay, this is a great statement, because we can address this specifically. So let's see. So all monkeys all the time says it looks bad, but it's pretty much socialist urban hives that have issues. Employed people in non-urban areas are and have been unaffected by Shanghai shivers. That's I like your word choice. So I wanted to tell you that the purpose of deploying the troops is for us. Most likely, it's not actually for the protesters. So how do you get troops deployed around the United States? We have to have a big fucking civil unrest everywhere, which is exactly what's happening. And the people that are doing the civil unrest are not the people that are getting hurt or getting their property destroyed here. These are real people getting their property destroyed and real people getting hurt and real people doing the hurting, right? The NGOs are not in there with fucking 2x4s fucking cracking people on the head. These are regular ass people that are being guided and directed by the sense of chaos and going with the flow in an immoral direction. But the reason that this is being stimulated is not organic. This is a destabilization operation, no different than any kind of sinister military operation. It's just in a civil capacity, right? So although you may feel unaffected, rest assured that what is going on right now is a whole fucking big picture that is saturated through the entire United States in terms of corruption, and this is just the beginning of the direct action phase that's now beginning. So I wouldn't be so sure, if you're if you're in of the perspective of like, you know, I'm good, I've been prepping, I'm, you know, I know what's going on, and like I'm fine, like this is gonna involve the entire United States in one way or another, you know, in multiple ways, you know, including like what's sure to be a fucking draft to go fight China, because they're not going to be able to pull enough bodies to fight fucking China. So they're going to do a fucking draft for men. And yeah, it's gonna involve, that's right, yeah, it's gonna involve the entire nation in some capacity or another. But what this really is, what the boot really is the people of the United States detaching from the government, because the government is, you know, it's pretty predatory at this point and destructive. And the only way that you can detach is to start providing for yourselves. And the municipalities, in the majority of cases, aren't going to fucking help us out, because everybody's on the gov tit now. So you got to start with the individual and then build our way up, and then demand the municipalities to reflect that same sentiment, and then work it up all the way to the top. So this has to start from the bottom to the top. They go from the top down for tyranny. We go from the bottom up for freedom. That's how this works. The good boog, I don't think is coming anytime soon, unfortunately. I think this is a, you know, people are too confused and people are too deceived, and there's a lot of propaganda and not a lot of control over the loudest voices in the United States, like media and control of communication networks that people use to get information. There's just too much centralization and monopolization of information, and a lot of bad actors interspersed through those networks at key nodes that are very loud. And the only way that we're really going to be able to separate the, you know, the cream in this is to create a situation where people begin like helping each other out and providing for themselves in a very you know, fantastic way. And by doing so, what's going to happen is that the control paradigm is going to have to like refocus and target on regular ass people that are just trying to get independent. And once they do that, that's going to expose them and expose their intent, because the purpose of all this is to control people, right? It's not really to kill everybody, because then you can't rule over everybody. It's to make everybody compliant. It's to further pull in the cordon and choke us off and get us, you know, pretty much like fucking mice in a hamster wheel. And by moving towards independence in both you know, sociologically in the culture of the United States, and also like on the individual level on your actual needs and goods and services, and, you know, like everything that goes along with that, that's the only way that this is going to happen. And we've got to be demanding and not quiet. There's nothing to be ashamed of about this. The United States government is supposed to be representative of the people. I don't know about you, but I don't have any fucking representatives in government, you know. So, and my interests are constitutional, and so what that means is that the U.S. Constitution doesn't have any fucking interest by the government. You know, it's their interest is to seek to work around it and to circumvent it and to slowly stamp it out and destroy it. And if we're going to have a government, if we're going to have the system that we're supposed to have according to the paper that we're going off of, then we need to start demanding it, and we need to not accept no for an answer. This is like a now I'm not talking about violent action, you know, although violence is sure to fucking come. Most of it will probably be synthetic revolution that they'll you know, toss up in our face. But in terms of like organic, real fucking human beings, you know, down here, we've got to become independent so that we have something to stand on, because right now everything is interlaced and tied in with this system of a beast that is you know, swallowing up the world. And we need to start cutting that umbilical cord and detaching, and then forcing the beast to come after people to try to, you know, enforce its will. And by doing so, it's going to expose to everybody else that was you know, trying to figure out what's going on. It's going to become pretty clear, pretty fucking fast, like, you know, what the situation is here. So that's a big thing we need to watch out on Monday and see what the government response is to this whole thing, because it's sure as shit going to be the purpose of this entire destabilization ops is going to be the government response. Josh just put a link to the Discord if you wanted to have discussion or like investigate or whatever. I threw my email up for contact. That's duger@tudanoto.com. You can send me an email. I got some emails the other day for AWVESC volunteers. I'm going to be following up with you this week, and we'll start to get this started here. All right. We want to try to avoid violence as much as possible because it's not in our interest. Okay, but to do that, if you don't start becoming independent and spreading that message to people so that they know that that's the game plan here, then we're going to be outmaneuvered into a position where it's going to force violence to occur for the purpose of the reaction to violence, so that there can be further clampdown and destruction of the United States. So violence needs to be avoided if at all possible, and we need to be worrying mostly about local, acting local, but thinking national with this, in terms of trying to not cut these fuckers any slack, and make sure that we fucking ID them and get their figure out exactly who they are. So if you're seeing protesters and shit that look like they're not from the area and that they're organizing shit, like, of course, there's the guy with the cash, I mean, there's a ton of them. I mean, these protests are so huge, there's just all kinds of imagery. We need to find out where the chain of funding is coming into these guys and who it is. And it's probably going to be multiple entities, and we need to find them. And then once we find those 501c3s, then we'll find their foundations, and then by looking at the records, we're going to cross-examine and find the crossover and the common thread of who's really behind this, and then we're going to disseminate that among the public and make sure that everybody fucking knows historically, so that people know what's up. And then after that, we'll just put one foot in front of the other. All right. Yep, the bricks. Yep. I don't think it's Bill Gates. I think it's way bigger than that. We're not talking about like one person. We're talking about a large group of wealthy individuals that are involved in this. Very large, like hundreds and hundreds probably. Yeah, Anon, I think you're maybe projecting a little bit. So here's the deal. Let me explain this to Anon, because he wants to come in here and be critical. So Anon, what you were talking about is the fucking reality, and like the way to address it is not to go out there with a fucking megaphone and yell at everybody that they're slaves. Okay, the way that you do this is practical, and you need to help other individuals take one foot in front of the other. A lot of people have no idea what the fuck is going on. Okay, so we're taking practical steps to like paint a picture here of what is really going on, without just like talking a bunch of shit. We're doing fucking investigative work. Okay, that's what's going on. All right. Yeah, we're following the bricks. We're gonna find all these fuckers. Okay, and we're gonna identify them. That's the first step. Okay. You're not gonna do. I don't know what your what your idea is. On what should be done. What is your idea, Anon? Do you have one? What would you recommend? No, there's no demoralization. This is just like, I just ate some dinner and now I'm going back to investigating. This is my Sunday. We're not demoralized here. Don't worry. And I'm trying to give you a chance here. Okay. Changing sides. Okay, so Anon says he's not sure, to be honest. He just knows he just doesn't see the normies changing sides in mass. What you have to understand is that there are no sides here. Okay, there are no sides. These are people that are, like people in the United States are victimized because they've had their ability to easily, navigate reality and make free choices taken away. So it would be more accurate to describe it as, they're concentrated with freedom of choice, but the reality is you don't have a freedom from choice. You don't have the ability to not choose a synthesized option. You have to choose synthesize A or synthesize option B, and that's it. And that's the entire problem. And the way that we deal with that is that people need to start getting unplugged. And if you're getting unplugged, the United States is a government that's of, by, and for the people, and there's a lot of shit that says that. So let's put the money where the mouth is, and let's make it happen and start fucking cutting the umbilical cord. And then if they come after us and they say, well, it's not really that kind of nation, really, we just want to tell you what the fuck to do and control all your shit. Well, then at that point, that kind of narrows down the options, I think. All right. Well, this isn't very productive, so I'm gonna wrap this up. You guys have a good night and have fun. I love you.